Shalom. I'm Rabbi Nathan Davidovich speaking to you on behalf of webyeshiva.org, speaking to you from Efrat, Israel. I'm going to speak today about this week's Torah reading in Israel, which is Parsha Balak. And there's a very important message, among many messages from this Parsha, but what I'll be talking about tonight is the fact that oftentimes we don't realize that we're in danger and that God is protecting us from the danger. We just, go through life and kind of not aware of what's going on. So here's what happened in this Parsha of Balak. Who was Balak? Balak was the king of Moab. And Moab was the country right next to where the Jews were in the desert just before they came into the land of Israel. And Moab was worried because he knew how powerful the Jewish people were. He knew that he couldn't defeat them militarily, and he thought that, he hated them. He hated the Jewish people, he hated the children of Israel, and he wanted to somehow get rid of them. But he knew he couldn't do it militarily. So what did he do? He hired a prophet. There was a prophet by the name of Baalam, who in previous occasions, he had proven that he was able to curse somebody and the curse came into effect. So he went to hire Baalam. Baalam at first appeared to be reluctant because he was really holding out for more money. That was his livelihood. And eventually, Balak kept asking him to come and curse the people. And he said, I've got to talk to God first. And God said, my people are blessed. You can't curse them. And he kept pestering God. He said, please, let me just give them a little curse. And let me go to Balak, to Moab, and talk to him. So God says, okay, I'll let you go to Moab if you want to do that. If that's what you want to do, I won't stop you. But whatever I put into your mouth, that's what you have to say. So what happened? He goes to Moab, and there's an interesting story on the way of what's happening with an angel trying to stop him, and his donkey sits down, crushes his leg against the wall, wanders off into a field. He gets very upset with the donkey, but that's an aside. He eventually gets to Moab, and King Balak says, why didn't you come when I called you before? I'd give you half of my treasure. Because Balak thought maybe that's what he wanted. He wanted more money. And Balaam said, no, I have to only say what God told me to say. So he starts giving what he thought was a curse, and it turned out to be a blessing. And every time he said something, it was a blessing. And Balak took him to go stand on a higher mountain so he could see where the children of Israel were camped in the desert, to curse them there. And instead of cursing, he gave him another blessing, which turned into a very common prayer that we say in the morning, Matovu Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkan Osech Yisrael. How goodly are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel, referring to the places of worship and the places of study of the Jewish people, which two things kept the Jewish people alive up until today. So he's not successful, and Balak finally kicks him out, says, leave. So there's an interesting comment. The Hassam Sofer, as brought down by Rav Biederman, asks the question. He says, this is a very strange story. Other than the fact that God told Moses to write this down in the Torah, no Jews witnessed what was going on. Moab was removed from the Jews who were in the desert. Nobody knew what was happening. And we see behind the scenes that God was there pulling the strings. And Hassam Sofer points out that even anywhere else in the Torah, everything was witnessed, even starting with the creation of the world. Adam Harishon saw it, and he passed down the information to his children. And that's how everything was passed down to the children. But the children of Israel didn't see this happening, had no idea that they were in danger. So what the Chassam Sofer says, he says this teaches us that God is always looking after the Jewish people. And no matter the situation that they are in, God is protecting us, even when we don't know it. And therefore we have to have strong emun and bitachon, strong faith and trust that God not only created the world, but is present and is watching over his people every single moment. God is protecting us from all kinds of dangers. We have no idea what dangers await us today. We see the outbursts of all the people around the world who want to seem to kill the Jewish people. We see all the governments siding with evil instead of good, many of the governments. But we don't know what they're cooking up. We don't know what's intended. And we have to rely on God. We have to put our trust in God. If a Jew puts his trust in God, he'll never go wrong. As my beloved father, Oliver Shalom, of blessed memory, said, God never writes a blank check. Or a check he doesn't write a check that's returned. His checks are always good. So God is guaranteed to the Jewish people to keep us alive, to bring us into this land that we're in now, Eretz Yisrael, and to protect us. And God has shown through his love for us, not only through bringing us out of Egypt and those miracles. Those were miracles that we saw. The miracles of Baalam and Balak were miracles that were equally as great as the splitting of the sea, because truly the Jewish people were in danger, but God was behind the scenes orchestrating it. It's also interesting aside, by this Parsha, this Torah portion is called Balak. Balak was a public anti-Semite. He had no qualms about his hatred for the Jewish people. And you would think that, why name a portion of the Torah after somebody who's such a hater? I mean, would you name a Chas v'Shalom, a portion of the Torah, call it Hitler? It makes no sense, except what is the Torah teaching us? The Torah teaching us that Balak, even though he was a wicked man, he had one quality, and it was a very important quality. He didn't try to cover up what he was thinking. He spoke the truth, that he hated the Jewish people. He didn't hide it. And the fact of truth is such an important aspect that the Torah wants from everybody. In fact, I remember a story I heard about the Rabbi of Bitachon, the Bitachon Rabbi Levi Yitzchak. One Shabbos, he's walking down the street, and he sees a Jew smoking a cigarette. And he goes up to the Jew, he says, Good Shabbos, my fellow Jew. He says, did you know it's Shabbos? Yes, of course I know it's Shabbos. Oh. So he said, did you forget that you're not allowed to smoke on Shabbos? No, I know you're not allowed to smoke. Well, did your doctor tell you, back in those days they thought it was healthy to smoke, did your doctor tell you that it was for your health that you should smoke? He said, no, I'm just doing it, I like to smoke. Bitachon Rabbi raises his hand to heaven and he says, Ribono Shel Olam, King of the world, Master of the world, Creator of the world, look at how wonderful your people are. No matter what they're doing, they always tell the truth. And that's an additional message that we can get from the story of Balak and Baalam. I thank you all for listening on behalf of the webyeshiva.org, and I wish everybody a wonderful Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.